Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Eric.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Day number 3 of the 12 Days of Podcasts. Let's tell the people what they've either listened to or missed out on. Day number 1.
Day number 1, we had Cameron. Cameron, who everybody knows.
Yeah, he's from Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
He's from Dipset.
Mm-hmm.
He's from the American Museum of Natural History.
He loves dinosaurs. He's a docent there.
Wait, where did you see that?
I saw it on LinkedIn. He updated his LinkedIn. He's now a docent there. He very firmly believes in dinosaurs.
Yeah,
now.
listen, we had to have the conversation.
We had to.
Now he's well aware.
Uh-huh.
Day number 2.
Cord Jefferson.
Cord Jefferson, the television writer. So Succession.
He wrote for Succession. He wrote
Watchmen.
for Watchmen.
Yep.
Good
The
Place.
Good Place. Yep. He was also from Gawker.
Mm-hmm.
And
Today,
today,
you got a little bit of like you're doing a little bit of Dave Letterman right there.
In what way?
In the way that you're like listing these things off and just being like, and Gawker, he was on Gawker.
Really? That's a
Yeah.
Dave Letterman thing?
I think it's a Dave Letterman thing.
All right,
All you need is to throw the note card.
Yeah. And day number 3. Today,
we got the man who walks around New York City with a cat in his head.
no, Jeff, we can't just put him on day number 3.
Right.
You're talking about somebody who we need to like finish strong and put him at day number 12.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that it was a build-up.
So, but today instead,
Mm-hmm.
we have Tinashe.
Tinashe, who walks around L.A. with a cat in her head.
That would be so dope. She's so dope. I love this conversation. I think she's so open at this point in her career that it was a great time to sit down with her. This is post her leaving RCA Records. This was post her album independently going number 1. This is her at a time in her life where she is
She's confident in herself.
I love that. I think it's great. We went to her house out there in Hollywood, us and our friend
give her
Josh.
address. Give her actual address so people can show up.
I will not do that. No, she does that herself, strangely enough.
Yeah, actually, we saw
when she has her
all
Taco
these
Tuesday events.
Saw all these like Star Tours like roaming around
On the way, yeah.
her house.
That was weird.
And
That was very strange.
I yelled after them. I was like,
What'd you say?
I said, "Look, it's Eric from It's the Real, the podcast."
While we were in Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
we did a lot of Ubering and lifting. Is that what it's called?
No.
Okay, a lot of ride sharing. I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you refer to it? How do you refer to it?
I got a private car.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We used a private car service to jet around town. So no, and one of the times we called a Lyft, a guy showed up at our hotel. We jumped in, and immediately he goes, "Are you in a rush?"
And it's like, well, yeah.
He
No,
goes,
I just wanted to sit here for a while.
He was like, "I had a really long car ride before this, and I really need to go to the bathroom."
Which, okay, like, if you really have to go to the bathroom, then don't accept a ride.
Agreed. This made so much sense to us, and apparently not to this guy. Who
Anyway, he said, "Don't steal my car," and then
took his own keys
and ran out into the hotel. And so you and I are just sitting in his back seat
while he, goes to the bathroom.
He didn't even lower the window.
We could have died.
Yeah, we could have died in
that
that car.
What a way to go out.
Yeah.
So he runs back into the car, says thank you, says we'll be there at 10:32. We're like, all right, great.
He looks in the rearview mirror and he says, "I'm really good at guessing what my passengers do for a living." Now, you and I, we have a very specific thing that we do. So the stakes are pretty high.
I don't, if I was to put money down, I don't think that he was going to guess hip hop sketch comedians.
No, and guess what? He didn't.
What'd he say?
He said, "You're accountants."
Accountants.
Now, that seems anti-Semitic. Seems like, hey, you guys look like you're good with money. I've seen the size of your noses.
He not only said accountants.
Yeah.
When we told him no.
He was incredulous and says, "Wait, there's no accountants in your family?"
He said, "Are your ancestors accountants?
Are your ancestors accountants?"
Crazy.
Which, by the way, no, they're not.
At this time, he's driving. It's not like we can be like, yo, open up this door.
Yeah.
Let us out on the 405. This was like on the way. And just, I don't know, describe this gentleman who just profiled us so thoroughly.
He was very Jewish.
So you think
I don't think that I'm being rude when I tell him, like, because he said, "Oh, I used to live in New York as well.
Yeah.
I lived in Brooklyn, but I would come to the Upper West Side."
Why is
Do
that?
you know? Well, I used to hang out with Rabbi Anachim Bacon from West 86th
on
Street.
86th Street.
Yeah.
It's like, do you know him?
Yeah, of course we do.
Yeah,
We saw him at the meetings.
So he
He's my accountant.
this guy was really Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think
How Jewish was he?
Do you think he was disappointed that we weren't accountants?
No, only because when he found out what we actually do,
Yeah.
which was dumb on my part,
Yeah, he wanted to work with us.
he handed us his business card.
If you were to do it again, Jeff.
Yes.
Same car.
Same car.
No, but first time, right? You went back in time and you had to do it all over again. What would you have told him was your profession?
Carpenter.
Oh, yeah?
Just like Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I dare you. The next time we do that,
Mm-hmm.
that has to be where you start.
Just get real religious with it.
Let's all
I'm
just-
about to have a candy bar in the back seat, but if we could just say grace while I hold your hand. 5 stars. I wonder if he would give me 5 stars.
I mean, Jesus was Jewish, so.
that is true.
Yeah.
But I am.
When did this turn into a really religious podcast?
It always has been.
No, I just never realized it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Second set of footprints.
Yeah, well, third.
Jeff Tinashe is on the podcast today. When do you want to get into it?
Wait,
What?
Bun B's on the podcast tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Just dropping that in there?
Yeah.
All right, great.
All right. I thought that we should say, like, who's on the podcast.
Wait, what happened to...
Like, tact? We have none.
No. What happened to, like, suspense and surprise?
Who cares?
And...
Bun B's on the podcast tomorrow. Either you show up or you don't. I think you should.
All right. Cameron, Cord Jefferson, Tinashe, Bun B. We'll see you guys after the podcast.
Wait, I do want to say, before we even get into it, smash that subscribe button.
It's Smash season.
Yeah. Go hit that subscribe button right now on whatever service you're using so that you can get these 12 podcasts right in your inbox.
All right. Jeff, when do you want to get into it?
Right after I tell people again. Right now.
Yo, what up? It's Eric, aka It Ain't Trickin' If You Got It, aka A Magician Never Tells.
Yo, what up? It's Jeff, aka Get My Girls Flued Out, aka American Pie.
Yo, what up? It's Tinashe, aka Beverly Hills, aka Hollywood Hills, aka what's up?
Yeah, it's your third favorite podcast. Waste time with ItsTheReal.
Tinashe, what's happening?
How's it going?
Everything's good. Thanks so much for having us at your home.
Yes, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming.
Congratulations on your new album, first and
Thank you.
foremost.
Thank
You have 5 abstract paintings on the wall.
Yes.
I saw that you painted a sweatshirt like yesterday or a couple days ago.
I made all of these.
I was going to say, like, these must be yours.
Yep. And there's a bunch downstairs, and there's a bunch of my.
But you've also like painted on or drew on like your artwork and like other takes from the artwork, right?
Yeah.
That's all you.
Yep. We love art.
You cook.
Yeah. I do.
You do
Remember
so
we
much.
go back
And
to
you
like
bake.
from
Tae
the
Kwon
beginning.
Do,
I
like
do a lot of
everything.
things.
Did you? So when you were baking the cookie, you were in New York, right? You baked cookies.
Yeah, a lot of cookies.
Did you bring them to your media run?
Yeah, I did.
Like as gifts?
What?
Like
yeah, I put them in little jars. Then I wrote on the top "snacks for you."
That's super nice. It's
Yeah, I
really
thought that was cute.
it's
right?
really thoughtful because who
Thanks.
else is doing that?
How do you relax? You're
That
always
was
doing
relaxing.
something.
That was fun.
Well, relaxing is doing more things.
Yeah, exactly. For me, that is relaxing. But if I'm just like literally sitting on the couch, that's like stressful. I'm like, let's
Damn, you're sitting on a couch right now. You're saying
I mean,
this is
right
stressful?
now, no. Like,
Yeah.
Just staring at the ceiling.
Yeah. So you do this Taco Tuesday thing.
Yes, we love Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday is not a thing. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, sorry.
is.
And it
It's
was
a
it was
movement.
almost a trademark, by the way, by LeBron.
Yeah, I was not.
I
He tried it.
So when you do these Taco Tuesdays, who is invited? How many people can you fit
Everyone.
here?
That is not true.
I've never counted, but a lot of people fit in here.
You make enough for everybody?
I make a lot of tacos.
Or is it that people need to show up early?
Both.
Okay.
Eventually we run out, but I definitely make at least like 200 tacos.
What?
Yeah, I'd be cooking for hours straight.
But
like
what's
hours.
what's the sort of like
Okay, imagine
the vibe?
Imagine I'm back there, and then
Yeah.
there's like lines, like 1, 2, and then it comes out here, and then it's like 3.
People
4,
line
like-
up for your tacos.
Yeah, people line up, and then this whole place is full, and then we'll have like a DJ set up over there, and then we'll open the doors.
How did this start?
I did it for like maybe 3 years now. 3.5 years. Yeah, I did my first Taco Tuesday several summers ago. That's why I was like, come on, LeBron tried it because we've been doing this for years. Yeah, I had a different house over in the Hollywood Hills, and I would invite people smaller. And it eventually got crazy. One time the cops came, shut it down. That sucked.
They shut down your Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, so then we had to change locations. So
That's why you moved?
yeah, so I moved.
By the way, that's the best promo. It's just like, yo, it's so poppin', the cops shut it down. Like,
Yeah, and then
we had to move.
Had to move.
Did you play your music here during Taco Tuesdays? Just like
Yeah, we did
within
during the
mix?
last one. Yeah.
So you just
Okay,
like,
I have to say,
Yeah.
I'm not somebody who has like a lot of FOMO. We've been around for 12 years. I've been to all the events.
Yeah.
This is
but you
the first
haven't been
time.
to Taco
This is
No,
the
we
first time where
haven't
I've
been-
actually
yeah.
been like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
how do I get to Tinashe's Taco Tuesday?
just for the
You
record,
got the
today
invite now, you
today
got
is
the invite.
Thursday. So
But-
did we miss out this week?
no, it's
But
alliterative. We could do
It's
that.
winter time. We take a break. We take a Christmas.
There is no
hiatus.
winter in LA.
Yeah,
We take a holiday hiatus.
It's not too cold.
Yeah, we
get too on.
We
Yeah.
come back around like my birthday.
You're like a restaurant.
Yeah.
Your
We're
birthday's coming
seasonal.
up.
Yeah, February 6th.
Be here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wait, you're gonna have a Taco Tuesday for your own birthday?
I've done it in the past.
Really?
Yeah,
You
I
cooked
mean,
200
no, but
tacos
that was
for
the
your
one
birthday?
time that I didn't cook.
This is like a homeless like soup kitchen.
But I like the cooking part because it makes me feel connected to the people.
Ugh, now you're being generic.
That's very generic. Yeah.
No, but
Want
I'm
to touch the
serious,
people?
though,
Like, come on.
It's the personal touch, you know. They like people like my tacos. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You would
See,
know if you'd eat.
This is really fucking up my FOMO.
No,
No.
wait. Don't say you would know. Like, we have not been invited.
I'm sorry. You know.
Yeah, that was
rude.
very
That was
disappointing
rude.
right
That
there.
was rude.
Yeah.
So let's go back
yeah.
to the very, very beginning. Where are you originally from?
Well, I grew up over in Glendale area.
Okay.
But
which
that's like
was-
you were like 8 or like
Yeah, I was
9.
like
Yeah. Like you're originally from Kentucky,
Well, I lived there for like 3 months of life.
but like a solid 3 months. Like it was like a lot got done there. You got born there.
Do you have a real
Yeah, I
appreciation
was
for
born-
Kentucky? Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really been back much. Maybe once. I think I did a show there recently. A couple
really?
years ago. But other than that, that 3
Did you get the
months.
welcome home treatment?
Yeah, they were like, no, for sure. They try to claim me. They're always like, Kentucky. And I'm like, yes.
That's like when Carmelo came back to the Knicks and everyone's like, yeah, welcome home. It's like, you grew up in Baltimore.
I
Like, you know, like,
guess.
we
Yeah,
love
I
you, but
guess.
like, yeah.
But yeah, I was born there randomly. It was random.
How was it growing up in Glendale?
It was chill.
Because I haven't been. Have you?
No.
No. Okay. We've never been to Glendale.
Yeah.
So what's it like out there?
It's chill. There's a lot of Armenians. In this one specific section that I was in, there was like a lot of Koreans. Not many black kids, but that was cool. It's chill. It's close to all of the action of LA, which is part of the reason why I think it's really nice, because you can kind of enter into the city and you can also kind of find, you know, yourself separated at least a little bit, which I think is really kind of nice.
Yeah.
You don't get that like in some other cities, you know, that kind of like distance with closeness
Right.
Yeah.
at the same time. So
What was your childhood bedroom like?
it's really, really small because it was in the middle of the house. It had like a sliding glass door that led to like another room that wasn't like really a room. It was like kind of like a hallway. And it was also connected to the kitchen. It had like 4 doors. So it was like literally in the middle. It was
You had
really
no
weird.
privacy.
Yeah, definitely not. People would walk through my room all the time. It didn't have like any AC or heat, so that sucked. But our house was really small, so it was pretty much like we were just all together anyways.
And
you
what was
know?
like hanging up on your walls?
I had like shelves with probably like my dance trophies, pictures of me and my friends, inspirational quotes, lots of inspirational quotes.
Did you use any of those inspirational quotes as like your high school quote?
I didn't have a high school quote. I wasn't like in the yearbook as a senior.
Really?
Yeah, didn't make it that far.
Didn't make it that far through high school?
Yeah, no.
Wow.
Yeah. I tested it out after 9th grade. So yeah, it was chill, but like it also like kind of sucked going to school over there, so I wanted to stop.
In what ways?
Once I got to like middle school and then high school, I just found myself kind of going down a completely separate path. I was already working professionally in the industry, you know, making music, touring. I was in a girl group at the time. I was acting since I was really young, so I always saw myself like going down that path really seriously and was doing it actively, and I found it kind of hard to blend school as well. Like I got kicked off of like the drama, like
Too dramatic.
fucking like I got kicked out of like the musical because like I missed it because I had to do other things. Like I got kicked off the cheer squad. Like I got kicked out of like a lot of things because it didn't align with my schedule. And then I also simultaneously just didn't really feel like I connected with like where my peers were at the time. I just like did not. And then people were mean, whatever, typical high school.
Yeah.
Middle school. It was really more middle school.
So you were
I was
into
out of there after like
you were into
ninth
dance.
grade.
You were into dance early.
Yeah, very young, like 4 was when I
Wow.
started dancing.
Like took classes and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So trained in what kind of dance?
Ballet, tap, jazz, hip hop, lots of different styles, and we competed. I was on a competing dance company.
Competing dance company, meaning you would go around and
Yeah, we would do competitions against other studios.
Man.
Yeah, we would. It was a big part of my life. For
So
sure.
a lot of
So like
trophies
after
means
school, that was like
yeah.
I'd be there for like 8 hours.
A lot of trophies means a lot of wins. Were you? Do you think the top of your like group?
Yeah. I was in like the advanced. I was advanced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you got into the business early, meaning
I was in my first movie when I was 6.
Whoa.
what movie was that?
Yeah. It was called Call Me Claus.
Okay. Christmas time movie?
Wait. No, I'm lying. It was called Cora Unashamed. Was the first one I was in.
Wait,
I
we
am-
agreed that you were not going to lie on the podcast.
And
And now
Yeah.
already.
that was actually.
I don't know how to trust you.
I know. Were you
How much
even
time-
in Call Me Claus?
Yeah. How much
Yes, I
time did you
was
spend in
actually,
Kentucky?
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was called Cora Unashamed. That was the first movie that I was in. And I continued to like act and be in movies and TV shows until I was like 15.
What were those early auditions like?
They were fun. They were cool. I never really let my parents help me too much. I was always like, I want to learn my lines by myself. I don't know. I was weird about that. It was weird.
Who
Yeah,
did
it
you
was fun.
rehearse your lines with?
I guess my dad. Yeah, he would always take me to my auditions and everything like that.
Did you walk into the auditions and see like other people who were your age? And
Oh yeah, all the time. There'd be girls you'd see every day.
the
like,
same ones?
twice
Yeah.
a week. 3
Yeah.
days. Yeah, because they cast everyone based on like how you look and your general age for the most part, typically, unless, well, at least your age. So you always kind of see the same girls. You're like, sup.
Did you bring headshots?
Oh yeah.
So you had
Wait,
headshots.
What is your best headshot as a kid?
I like my 6-year-old headshot. It was so adorable. It was real cute. It was real cute.
What does it say on the back besides like, how tall you are or like what color your eyes are? Were there like skills or like, is it like a resume?
There were like special
Baton.
skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were all sorts of things.
Lion tamer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like black belt in Tae Kwon Do.
How did you have time for anything? You were
I
you
did
were
a
always
lot of
doing a
things.
lot of things.
That's why I had to stop going to school. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm
Fuck
busy.
school.
I know,
Like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah, I am busy.
Yeah.
How many siblings do you have?
2.
2. And you're the oldest?
I am.
You were running around to all these auditions.
Yep.
Were your siblings doing the same?
No, they were not.
So this was just, like,
they
really
were
your
into
interest.
sports.
Who did you look up to?
Well, when I was really young, I think the first person was probably like Britney Spears because I always wanted to be in music by the time I was 16 because she started when she was 16. So that was like, okay, when I'm 16, I'm going to put out my first album. That was always kind of like my plan in my head when I was young.
How early did you start singing or writing?
I wrote my first song when I was 5.
Whoa.
And I also performed that at like my piano recital for like, yeah, it's on tape. I sampled it on my last album, I think.
Whoa.
Was it on Joyride? I think. Yeah.
Did you have to
Cool.
clear that?
Yeah, with myself. Yeah. I was like, it's good.
So you would run around, you would get all these auditions.
Yeah.
When they came back to you and they were like, you got it, do you
Yeah.
remember what that feeling was like?
Yeah, I would be really excited. Yeah. For me, when I would audition, the thing about it is I wouldn't take it too personally, but I also don't think I took it like too seriously when I was young. Because for me, it was like more like fun. It wasn't like I was always like, okay, this is like what I'm doing right now until I'm old enough to like start doing music full time. So that's kind of how I saw acting as kind of like a bridge, or something that I could get back to.
But I also get this feeling that like you do have a competitive streak in you.
Oh yeah.
And so there must have been some sort of feeling of just,
But that would only happen with like very particular roles. It wasn't for everything. It wasn't all the time.
you weren't just like, everything is mine. I need everything.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not everything.
Like a Veruca Salt sort of.
Like I remember I would get auditions for like Disney shows all the time, and I would just be like, ugh.
Yeah, smoking your cigarette, just being like, well, I guess I'll just do this.
Yeah, exactly.
What was it like the first time like one of your classmates realized that you were in a TV show or a movie?
It was cool at first, and then kids started getting mean about it. That's when it really like took a turn, because I would leave school for like say 10 months at a time to
Wow.
go shoot like a TV show, and people would be like, she's lying, she's not shooting a TV show.
Yeah, she has mono.
Yeah, like I don't know, and I'd come back and it would just be different, it would just be weird. So it started off cool when I was young.
Yeah.
But then once we hit like 12, 13.
Yeah.
Did you find more true friendships through your working situations than maybe anything in class?
Not really. I had like one solid friend throughout who's still my best friend now, which is cool. So she was
Shout her out.
yeah, Alicia, what's up? Yeah, I mean she lives in New York now. She's a lawyer.
Wow.
So we met like in the Girl Scouts. So
You did Girl Scouts,
Oh, yeah.
Taekwondo, acting, singing.
So many badges.
Yeah.
Lots of badges.
So good at knot tying.
Yeah, you know, I just try to do everything.
How did you measure your success for yourself in all of these different things? Like, I guess Taekwondo is like an easy thing because you can get different belts, right? Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I just thought it was really fun as a kid. I didn't put too much pressure on myself when I was younger. I had this crazy just like confidence in myself and in my career, and kind of thought that everything would be easy actually. So I never really tried that hard when I was young. It kind of just all just naturally happened, and I feel like I kind of just manifested everything, like manifested my whole career for myself, because I didn't have any like advantages. I was just like a normal kid.
Yeah.
So I really kind of just it really felt easy. Like I would just get, I mean, not everything was easy in terms of like I didn't get the best parts or like the biggest roles. I wasn't like a child star per se, but like I never felt like I, you know, had to try too hard in terms of how I felt about my career. I just had this like confidence that everything was going to work out and I was going to, you know, achieve everything that I wanted to achieve easily. And I didn't really start having any kind of like feelings of doubt or like jadedness or, you know, that kind of stuff until like you kind of got more deep into like the music business and going through, you know, just life in the music business. Older.
Did you manifest your driver's license the first time?
Yeah, I got it the first time. Yeah.
Who taught you how to drive?
My dad. He taught me at my grandma's house in Iowa.
Your grandmother lives in Iowa.
Yep. My mom is from Iowa. My dad grew up in Iowa. They met in Iowa.
Wow.
Shout out to Iowa.
Where would you drive around as like a 16-year-old?
I would go to like Pinkberry, the Glendale Galleria.
Mm-hmm. Isn't walking around the mall like such a lost like thing now?
Yeah, I used to do it all the time just to kill time.
Yeah, just aimlessly
but now there aren't
walking
any more
around.
malls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
everything is
Glendale
just
Galleria still stands.
Oh no, I mean like yes, the structures are still there, but like the energy is very different than it used to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you know, like Mary J. Blige got discovered at the Galleria where we grew up.
Yeah.
But
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, we're
Like
a
a
little
contest?
younger.
Yeah. No, she
No, she
recorded. They had like a little like recording booth in the mall.
Really?
Yeah, and she did
That's
her
cool.
like demo there. Got a cassette.
Malls.
And,
Yeah.
Shout out to malls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Crisscross got discovered at the mall.
Yeah.
Yachty got discovered
A
at the
lot
mall.
of people used to perform at malls.
Totally. Oh,
Britney
yeah.
Like
Spears,
mall tours.
Yeah.
Tiffany, like all them.
yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
So when you were like getting around to that like 15, 16, 17-year-old age,
Mm-hmm.
are you still as involved in acting, or were you shifting yourself more into the musical space?
The last thing that I did before I took my hiatus was 2.5 Men when I was 15. And then I was like, yeah, I'm going to come back to this at a later date. I want to focus on music solely.
Were you
So,
excited when you got
15,
that call from CBS or from
Yeah.
2.5 Men?
Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what were those days like? I mean, we saw a clip reel of what you were doing, which
Yeah.
wasn't like the most challenging work.
Yeah, for sure not. Yeah.
But like, what were those days like? Like, or was that like you had to do a bunch of takes?
It was just cool because that was like a sitcom, so that was a new experience because there was a live audience and there were cameras.
Which did you play to?
That's it. You have to play to both.
Oh wow. It's so exciting to be like into your process.
I know,
you know?
Yeah. But again, I didn't really think about it. Like you said, it wasn't like that challenging.
Yeah.
Like,
it was like you stand
I
there
was,
and
like,
they open the
15,
door.
And I was just like, hey, I'm the neighbor girl.
Was it hurry up and wait?
I mean, sets are a lot of wait. I wouldn't say it's too much hurry up. It's just like wait, shoot. Like,
You had been recording music.
well, I was in a girl group, so
How did
I
that-
hadn't done my own music yet.
How did that come to be?
A girl through like acting who was like, hey, there's this girl group that's starting. They're looking for a black girl.
They said that?
Yeah, of course. Like people did that all the time. I don't know if they still do, but at the time they were very transparent about it. We
Man.
did one black girl, one Asian girl, one Latina girl, and one redhead girl, and one blonde girl. And that was literally
That's
like,
the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
But
so,
also
and they
you
got
were-
those?
they did that all the time. Yeah.
they hit
yeah,
bingo,
that was-
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That was it. It was a good learning experience.
Was
I was
it-
real young.
Was it easy to work in like, I mean, basically, you're just like following directions from on high, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you're just like saying your lines, doing the thing, and then
Mm-hmm,
did you enjoy the experience of working with other people?
I mean, working with other people was fun. Having other girls around me, especially at that age, you know, it takes a lot of the pressure off of you
Yeah.
as like a kid going through, you know, puberty, this and that. You know, there's 5 of us. I can't imagine necessarily what that would have been like if I was by myself. But at the same time, I had a huge desire to be creatively in control
Yeah.
of my music career even then. So that never really sat that well with me, that I didn't have that control. So I always kind of wanted to write my own songs, direct my own videos.
And did you pitch any ideas to them? And
I did. We started, you know, eventually as we got a little bit older, but majority of the decisions were definitely not ours.
Yeah.
And what were those days like? Was it a lot of like studio time, a lot of rehearsals, a lot of
Yeah,
like
we would rehearse like 2 nights a week. We would be in the studio recording songs. We basically recorded an album, but we never put it out. We went on tour with Justin Bieber. That was probably like the coolest thing that we did.
wow.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Did you play any malls?
We did not.
Oh,
we,
all
did,
right.
we did stadiums, which is
Whoa.
always
Yeah,
so
yeah,
cool. Well,
yeah.
arenas.
So did you travel by bus or
Uh-huh.
whoa?
Yeah, we were on a tour bus. We had screaming fans, but really they were Justin Bieber fans.
Yeah.
But at the time, you know, they were so, oh my God, so excited about him. That was like the My World tour days. He was like on another level of just fame. They would wait outside the bus, wait outside the hotel, and they would just be into anything associated with him. So they were just into us too. So
Right.
we were feeling it. We were like, we are famous. This is the shit. Yeah, that was cool.
You were on that tour for multiple cities. And when that tour was over, what came next?
By then, we'd already been in the group for like, I want to say like 3 to 4 years. Well, no. Eventually, what happened was we'd been in the group. I'd been in the group for 4 years. We'd been together for 4 years, and it at that time felt like a very long time of our life. And we never had put out an album, and at least I definitely felt like I had to move forward musically and find my own musical identity. And other people had kind of other, you know, desires for what they wanted to do with their lives. Like one of them eventually got married. One of them like moved to San Francisco. One of them we all kind of did different things.
Yeah,
So
the redhead didn't want to be the redhead anymore. You know? Yeah.
You know, she went back to her natural color. And it was fun though, but
Were those hard conversations to have, to be, you know,
Yeah.
willing to leave?
yeah, but I felt like it was the right thing to do at the time. And at the same time, when you're put together like that, you don't have the same kind of, I feel like, allegiance to each other as you would if you form each other as a group of friends or like siblings, which sometimes groups are.
Yeah. I mean, we're
family
siblings.
members.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm ready to leave.
Jeff wants to go back to
but
his.
you're holding on based on blood.
Yeah.
I want to
blood
not
keeps
be a
you
redhead
together.
anymore.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
So when it came to recording your own music, where did you have your studio sessions for your solo stuff at that point?
That's when I built a studio in my room. I had like acting money
Yeah.
that I'd saved up from acting as a kid.
So your studio ended up being like
Like a table with a computer and a couple of amps and a microphone.
was it
in my
still at the
loft.
same home
In
that you grew up
Glendale?
in?
Oh yeah.
So if you were
With the
recording,
4 doors?
Yeah, I was
would
there for a
people
long
ever walk in just looking to get to the kitchen?
Oh yeah, and if they were in the kitchen, especially if my mom was like washing dishes, like you could hear it, and so it would be so annoying because there'd be takes where it'd just be like shh in the background. I'd be like, oh my god, that's ruined.
Did you engineer your own sessions?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I
So
taught
you did
myself.
everything yourself.
Yes. I
What
taught myself how to record and mix and yeah, all the stuff.
were you recording in the middle of the night?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, late into the night.
Who was the most trusted person that you would play your solo music for at that point?
Um,
Or did you not play for people?
I didn't play for too many people. And I still don't. I'm kind of I recently got much better at playing my new stuff for people, but like up until I'd say like the last couple of years, I've been super weird about it. Like I don't like playing it for people.
Yeah. Like skipping ahead, like when you do have to play it for people, are you the type who, like, say you're in a meeting with a label?
Yeah.
Are you the type who will look people in the eye or like?
As they listen?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I don't like it, because like I'll be like, what the are they thinking?
You're like trying to force them to like
Yeah.
it by being like.
I don't want to force them to like it though either. That's the other thing, is because I want to know their genuine reaction. So I don't want to, like, I'm trying to analyze, like, are they faking this
right.
because I'm here?
Oh,
Do
man,
they
you're
really like
overthinking it
Yeah,
now.
I'm
Yeah.
like, do they really like it? Are they nodding their head? Are they reading their phone? Like, I will start, like, that's why I don't really like playing my music for people, because
Did you see?
going
Have you seen? Remember when Bobby Schmurder was like going to different labels and then he signed with Epic?
Mm-hmm.
There's this famous video online of him with the entire Epic staff, and L.A.
Mm-hmm.
Reid is just sitting there like drinking his coffee, like not giving any like.
I don't think I've ever
And
seen
Bobby
that.
is going crazy with it, like jumping
jumping
on the table.
Yep.
Like
Wow.
they're playing the song Computers, which would go on to be like humongous.
Yeah.
But no one in the room is reacting.
Yeah, and I've been in meetings like that
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, super fun meetings.
Oh,
Is that what we're talking about? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about the same meetings? Yeah.
Super, super great ones that make you feel like you knocked it out the park.
Right. So, in that time when you're recording it and you're not sharing it with anyone, what is the plan?
I just put stuff out. I didn't really think about it too much.
You put stuff out via.
Hot new hip hop. Dat piss.
Did you do the same like thing that like anyone else would do? Just email it to like
Yeah.
whatever editors were working over there.
Yeah, I'd find the emails of the people from like the different sites.
Was there a
Hi,
pitch?
sir and or madam.
Yeah, I know.
I
yeah.
like your blog and or website.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Tinashe. This is I'm putting out a mixtape.
Who
But
showed?
I also kind of had like a small following at the time, so that kind of helped.
the
From
Justin
the-
Bieber fans.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
But who showed the most love like early?
Hmm.
That really like meant something to you.
Gosh, it's a good question.
They're all good questions. Like every single one.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear the driver's license question?
Yeah. I'm gonna say like Dazed and Confused, maybe.
The magazine.
The magazine, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you first got like posted somewhere, were you just like, oh shit, like this is,
Yeah, that
it's
was
moving.
Cool. It all kind of happened really fast though, so that's why it's hard to pinpoint one thing, because it kind of was a perfect storm. Like when I dropped my first mixtape, that's when I just started getting all of the different little blogs would post about it and write about it, and then I would put out another one, and then it would just be like more, and then I'd put out another one and just be a little more.
Was it anything where you did real life like pitching to like DJs around town, or you like?
It was mostly online.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who would you say was on your team?
No, nobody.
It was you.
Well, I got my manager at the time when I was probably like 17. Yeah. So yeah, I had a manager, me and him.
And did you see like?
And then I signed to RCA pretty quickly though, after I put out my first mixtape, honestly.
So there was no sort of trips to all the different labels, or did you have that?
I did, but again, this all happened really fast. So I like put out, I want to say, yeah, I put out my first mixtape. All the blogs started writing about it, and then all the labels started calling. And I did like a round of meetings with everybody, and like did the thing, like played them the music, did the little song and dance, and eventually I went in, like with RCA, I was just like, look, I'm going to do it with or without you. Like I specifically remember saying that to them.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it with or without you guys. So you can either like be a part of this or not.
Yeah.
And
that's so
I
dope.
played them my first mixtape, and they listened to the song My High 3 times in a row. And I was like, oh yeah, they like my music. They really like what I'm doing, which is ironic because whatever. So that was just like a really good moment. And then pretty much after that, I signed really quickly.
Immediately, they gave you a full team, and you're dealing with like an A&R, and you're dealing with a publicity team and a radio team.
Yeah, like 18. But at the time, I didn't have any songs. So then I spent the next 2 years working with a variety of different producers and songwriters.
So you were back in like actual like studios?
Yep. I was in studios.
So you weren't like demoing anything still in your bedroom?
Nope. So that was a big shift. And I went, well, I mean, I would like on the side, but for the most part, I was in studios with like all of like the biggest, hottest people at the time. And
Here
I would
in
go,
town.
And I would go by myself, and it would just be me and these people that have, made all these hits. And that it was a really interesting learning experience how to navigate those scenarios and find my position in a room where you are just one young girl.
And like some of them know about you, and some of them don't.
A lot of them didn't. A lot of them were probably just my label called them like, she's dope, she's our priority, you gotta get in with her. And I'm like, okay.
And then it's like you have to like establish some sort of like relationship. It's
in
just
2
like,
days.
Right, in 2 days.
Or sometimes even quicker than that.
Or right.
It's just
in
like,
1 hour, because if you don't do it like the first day, then they're not going to come back for day 2.
Yeah, like who was somebody that you instantly bonded with at that time?
At the time, it's hard to remember. I have a lot of friendships that have kind of developed now over the years.
Yeah,
but
and that's a fair thing to answer too. I don't know if it was
really very instantaneous with anyone, and that's why a lot of it was like jumping around, working with this person and that person, and song by song, I really curated that first album, Aquarius. That was really me putting it, together. There wasn't like a thread of, I've never really had the luxury I feel would be of like the thread of one kind of producer with one focus.
Yeah.
Did you feel at that time, because like, we talked about how you were like, this is going to be so easy. Like things are just like falling into my lap. I'm young and like there's just a good energy around you, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's this time where all these new people are coming in. Some get you, some don't. Mm-hmm. Does that sort of like fuck with you?
Yeah, I think that's when it started for sure. It definitely fucked with me in terms of like I started to think that what I would bring to the table wasn't good because I would be in these scenarios and I would be like, we should do it like this. They'd be like, yeah, but we should do it like this. And that would be how most of it would go. Or if I would do a song like in my home studio and then send it, and then I would do a song with like this other songwriter and then send it, they would freak out about the one that the other person wrote, but then like what I would send would get no reaction. So that would definitely mess with my head over, however many years.
And you're going into these rooms by yourself, and so it's a lot of stuff to put on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what did I sign up for? Did you feel like you had signed up for this thing that you did? And I know that you're like free of RCA now, but like at the time, were you like, what have I done?
Not necessarily, because I think it kind of happened slowly before I realized that it was like a problem necessarily. Like I didn't have the opportunity to work with any of these producers or songwriters or even in these studios before. So to be fair, I was stoked.
Yeah.
You know, so that was the other thing that was why it would kind of mess with my head in terms of, instead of it just being like obvious, if it was obvious, it wouldn't have been so insidious, you know, like if they just came to you like, hey, you aren't, you know, I don't know. It was more like, this is going to be really fun. This is going to be a great experience. You're working with people that you would dream to work with. Then you want to kind of, you know, do what they want to do too. So it's not totally like people just being like, you're going to be forced to do things you don't want to do. You're kind of just like, I mean, I guess I want to do that. Like,
Yeah. No, I mean,
you
there's
know?
a trade-off, right?
And there's also no blueprint to any of this.
For sure.
So if you're 18 and you're going through it,
Yeah.
is there anybody else that you know where you can just be like, hey, you know, you have this similar experience,
no.
right?
That was the other thing. It was like, for example, my best friend, which we talked about earlier, she's a lawyer. So
Yeah.
she was like in law school. So I couldn't really ever talk to her about what was going on because she just had no frame of reference in terms of giving me kind of any guidance, you know, and
Yeah.
no one really did. My parents didn't have any of that. They weren't from the music business. So yeah, there was no.
And by the
yeah,
way, at the same time,
swinging it.
I don't know your parents, but I'm going to assume like
Yeah.
they want the best for you and they want to
Of
give whatever
course.
advice they can think
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
Like we've dealt with the same things. We have our career over 12 years that like, you know, people would try to give advice and it's like, you don't know.
You
like
don't-
you just
yeah.
you can't really understand where we're coming from, and that I'm sure had to happen for you.
Totally. So that's hard also when you're growing up and you don't really have like a mentor.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a learning experience.
How
and
was your
that's-
manager at the time?
It was again, I think, a learning experience. He'd never managed anyone before, and he didn't manage anyone else. So
How did you find him in the first place?
he worked with the group that I was in and ran like the top 40 department over at a record label. So he had like a different career and then kind of switched gears to work in management. So we were just kind of, you know, just trying to figure everything out.
What's the best thing that he did for you?
I think the best thing was having that closeness from that family dynamic, because it was from the beginning, from the jump, and yeah, I would you know, spend nights at their couch. There was that belief that everything was going to work out, and again, that was part of what was really important for me, because I always had that. And I needed someone else to kind of be on board with that.
Hey gang, it's Jeff here from the podcast that you've been listening to for the past, I don't know, 40 minutes. You might recognize my voice. These dulcet tones.
That's right.
I wanted to take a little time out of my day to tell you what's going on with me.
What's going on with you, Jeff?
Well, I'm sitting here in my apartment and I'm trying to move these 8 billion t-shirts.
Yeah, but Jeff, if I was to tell you that I knew a place that had 8 billion people looking for t-shirts, what would you say?
I'd say you're crazy, man. I'd say you're crazy.
No,
you're
Jeff,
out of your gourd.
It's a real thing.
What?
That place is called China. Man. Yo, if there's anybody in China, now is the time to buy all of our t-shirts. What better time than now?
You can also buy our t-shirts even if you don't live in China. Say you live in, I don't know, New York.
Yeah.
You can buy 8 billion t-shirts and send them to China.
Hold up. I do live in New York. I own 8 billion t-shirts.
Send them all to China, Eric.
I'm going to do that. Where can you go to get those t-shirts?
ItsTheReal.com/shop.
And now back to the podcast. How much did you recognize that you had a singular voice at that time? Like there were not a lot of singers that were like you.
In terms of what?
In terms
sonically?
of your voice and your tone and your
And just general vibe.
yeah.
I think I just, again, at the beginning, there wasn't too much thought put into it. It was just really kind of what I liked. So when it kind of, I think, went awry was when there was a little bit more like strategy put into it, or like thought put behind it. But like at first it was just like whatever I kind of just liked.
Yeah.
There was no real rhyme or reason.
Because okay, with all due respect to Britney Spears, like at that time when Britney Spears hit, every label was like, we can find a girl who can do Britney Spears.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, there's always a formula, and sometimes it does work, but it usually doesn't. You know, usually it's outside of the typical formula for what they think or people think will work. But you can't blame businesses for trying.
Oh no, I will absolutely blame
Yeah,
every
yeah.
single business for trying.
But it's difficult to be somebody who's unique.
Yeah, absolutely. And as an artist, I think that's something that we really value, that not necessarily businesses can inherently understand. Like, they're just so different, art and commerce, you know?
Yeah.
So there's always going to be some type of a level of, you know, conflict there, I think.
But 2 on hits
Mm-hmm.
and hits big.
That was great.
Did you like that song?
Yeah,
Okay.
that one was actually cool because, interestingly enough, I'd created it, like kind of outside of the label. Like, it was me and my friends in a garage, kind of nearby here. And yeah, we just sent it in. They actually did react really well to that one. I was like, oh, yes, we did it. We did it. So that was fun for me because that was rare.
In that moment, were you aware of the machinations of like, okay, this is how we're going to grow this song, and we feel like there's a path to getting it like high on the charts and really becoming omnipresent?
No, I don't think there was too much. I think it was a lot of surprises with that record. I also think it could have got even higher if there was more of a strategy for that.
What were the things that they did to grow it?
I did like a radio promo tour. I did like the BET Awards pre-show. Not much.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
really
'cause I mean, like,
all.
it's one of those like seminal
Yeah.
records where it's just like, oh, I know where I was this time, this place.
Yeah,
it was
just
so big.
grew very organically. It was
Yeah.
very organic. There really wasn't too much of a rollout plan.
Any remixes were surprises or
Yeah, the Drake remix I found out like on Twitter.
wow?
Yeah.
Found out like how?
Someone tweeted me like, Drake remixed your song.
You're
I was
like, sorry, what?
Yeah, you
I
closed
was
Twitter, just
I
like,
was
no.
yeah, right. But still curious, so clicked the link.
It wasn't Drake type. It
Yeah.
was actually Drake.
Yeah, it was actually Drake.
Was it on Hot New Hip Hop?
Yes, it was.
No.
Yes, it was. It was probably the number 1 on Hot New Hip Hop that day.
How did you get Schoolboy on?
My label paid him like 25 grand, I think, or something like that. Maybe.
So no like relationship with him.
No, I did not know him. I was just a fan.
Yeah,
That's cool.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, big fan.
Were there any remixes that you heard that were like outside of the?
There was a lot. So much happened so quick with that record. It was hard to process that also. I don't think also I had a grasp of how successful it really was doing, so I wasn't taking mental note of a lot. I was just doing radio shows and I don't even know what I was doing. Traveling. Yeah, I went on tour pretty soon after 2015 with Nicki Minaj. Then I went on tour with Katy Perry right after that. So I spent that whole year on the road. So I was just doing that.
Man,
I didn't
was
know
that
what
exciting
going
or
on.
exhausting or all of the above?
It was so fun. I loved touring, but it was also exhausting. It also felt like I was maybe not focusing on like promoting my music and like growing my music. I was just on the road. I think that was a little frustrating for me at the time, but it was really fun. I loved touring.
What record do you really appreciate from that first album that you think is underrated?
How Many Times featuring Future. It's a good one.
What did it mean to you?
I just think it's a jam. It samples Janet, which, you know, I love. She's a huge inspiration to me.
You got to do a thing for Janet, right? For the BET Awards?
Yeah, that was so fun.
Yeah. Did you
So
get to meet
cool.
her?
No, I
Oh.
wish. I wish. Yeah, she was like there. She came out afterwards, got her award, and then left.
After that first project lands and continues on and 2 On is like, you know, climbing the charts,
Mm-hmm.
how soon does RCA come back and say, all right, great, follow up?
Pretty quickly, but we really shifted gears sonically. We went with the song Pretend featuring A$AP Rocky, which was kind of like slow jam, and it didn't do that well. So I wonder if we should have put out like a fast song.
Did you know
Or a
Rocky?
2 On-ish song.
But
No,
then
I didn't know anybody. I met everybody.
Yeah. I mean, he was on RCA as well.
Yeah, that
so
was
they were
what-
just like,
what-
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's clear this thing real quick.
yeah.
If you had gone with another fast song, then it like pigeonholes you into
for sure.
Yeah.
So like
Then you're the fastest.
obviously there's no real looking back. The journey has been the journey. But yeah, that song. It for whatever reason,
Yeah.
that song definitely wasn't too on success. But
Given the success of Two On, and given that you had been an actor for so long, do opportunities to act come back in that time?
not really. I don't think people really associated me as an actress.
They hadn't
with
seen Two and a Half
Two
Men.
I know, yeah.
I don't know. I guess they didn't, my most memorable performance, I don't know. So not really, no.
Yeah. So you get back in and you start recording. Was your mind state different in recording that second album than the first?
For sure. I think with your second album, you feel like you have more to prove. Now,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, you have pressure. This was the first time, for example, I thought it would be hard instead of thinking that everything in my life would be just like easy and natural. I
Did
was
you
like,
feel like-
oh shit, this is gonna, I have to like try.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
But-
there were a lot of people in the room again.
Yeah.
But given
like, more.
given the success of the first album, did you feel like maybe you would have more control?
Not really. Maybe I did, but again, I think I was just more so affected by the pressure of everyone being like, the fans now being like, it should be like this, and the media being like, it should be like this, and the label being like, it should be like this, and management being like, it should be like this, when I never ever even had that input before.
Yeah.
With my first album, I never had that. With my mixtapes, I didn't have that. So it was like, that was kind of a whole new, and I don't think I really responded to it too well.
Meaning,
Like I didn't like rise to that occasion as like, oh, I'm gonna now take back control. I think I felt even more out of control. I felt really out of control with my second album with Joyride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I felt really out of control. It
I mean,
took
also at
years
that
to get
time,
out.
like, you almost lost your album title. Like, there was just
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of, like,
It was
shit
a
going
lot
on.
of, yeah, it was a lot of little things. I lost my album title track. I lost like several different kind of like little songs got like nixed or things had to change. I wanted to put it out and wanted to go on tour and had this like whole tour set up, and then like I put out a song and it didn't do that well, so then the album got pushed back, so then the tour got canceled. So I was just like bummed, and that, it kind of tarnished, I feel like, my entire process of putting out that album.
Yeah.
But I think that, like, what is so amazing about you is that you do have this resilience, that you do sort of like rise above all this shit. Like, you're still here
Oh yeah.
and still killing it.
Well,
like,
stopping has never been an option for me. It's always just been like little things that have been bummers or setbacks, but I don't think I've ever allowed myself to get that far to a place where I'm like, I would ever quit, or I would, it doesn't even feel like that's a possibility to me, because like, this is what I do, like
Yeah.
this is like, even if there was 1 million people listening, or even if I had even like less fans and less support than I do now, like I said, I have no choice. I have to just keep making music.
we sold the TV show to MTV in 2015.
Yeah.
And the woman who bought the show left the week after she bought it.
Oh my God.
You know that story that like everybody goes through and it's like,
No.
well, it's not going to happen to us, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we do that, and then in dealing with the new people who come on, you want to make it work, right?
Right.
You
Yep.
feel like this is your big opportunity,
Yeah.
and so you bend as much as you can, but try to hold on to what your idea is.
Right.
How much did you bend and like concede because you were trying to be a team player?
For sure, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot over the years.
Would
A
you?
lot.
So they would make a suggestion like, "Hey, would you work with this producer? Hey, would you work with this artist?" Or, "Hey,
We should put out this song, or hey, this should be the single, or hey, we should add this feature, and things like that, where I was just like, I don't know.
do you kick yourself now considering that?"
No, because I didn't really have a choice, A, and B, because it was, like I said, it's not like totally like anybody's fault. Like nobody ever like forced me to necessarily do anything. Again, like you said, I was trying to just like do the best I could, and I wanted to put things out, and they would put things out if I like, had a good relationship with my record label. So I wanted to maintain that to a certain extent.
What
And-
vacation did you take that you were able to really just like leave everything behind, turn your phone off, escape, and be 100% present in who you were and where you were?
I would go to my grandma's house. I would go to Iowa.
Do you appreciate the stillness and the, like, it's not, a lot of
Oh,
houses
yeah.
around, I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
Yeah,
Or if it
it's
is, it's
nice.
like, it's different.
There's like cornfields, and I go on lots of bike rides. Yeah, it's different. It's a nice change of pace. But I couldn't live there though. I'm sorry. But I'll visit.
Yeah, I mean, there's just not a lot of music industry stuff out
There's
there.
not too many people to collab with. But
Yeah.
there probably are, honestly, though. But yeah, there's just much more. To
It's a harder
business
fight.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anybody recognize you in Iowa?
Maybe. Yeah.
Like at like the grocery store or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The airport, the mall.
Yeah, the mall.
Yo, you're gonna get sponsored by the mall so quick
I
on
know,
this
yeah.
podcast.
Was there ever a point where you felt you had to like, in the height of like Tuon, did you feel like you had to live up to whatever the name Tinashe was?
I don't think it was that early, but eventually, yes.
What did that mean to you?
I think again that was just that pressure to like do something that was like a hit. I always like had to make hits. I always had to work with people who were going to make hits, and I had to make hits, and every song had to sound like a hit, which like I still don't really know what that means.
What happens if like in that time period, like TMZ would run up on you? Did you feel like you had to give them a quote? Did you feel like you had to keep yourself in that cycle?
Yeah, but I never really subscribed to that too much. It was always more music based for me that I wanted the recognition.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really have anything to talk about at that point.
So if you went on a radio run too,
Yeah.
did you have talking points, or did you feel like you had to like, because so some morning shows they'll be like, hey, just jump in and like let's talk about
Yeah.
news. But like if you're doing like an afternoon show, it's all about you.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of it eventually became about like me putting out my music that I recorded in my bedroom. That was always a huge talking point for me. Me trying to motivate young girls to get into engineering and producing and getting into that side of music. That was a big thing I always talked about. But then other than that, yeah, I mean, a lot of my really early interviews were like pervy, douchey.
damn.
For sure. If you watch some of them, they're so cringy.
How do you make it through that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because now I'm like, why did I sit through that? That's
Wait, what were they
crazy.
asking you?
They're just talking about my boobs a lot and stuff. I don't know, just different things.
I was gonna be like, it was a
Uh,
different time, but it's not a different time.
No,
It was like
yeah,
5 years
yeah.
ago.
Yeah, it was like a slightly different time, but like,
Yeah, but not.
Okay, you had pushbacks. Your album was rescheduled. It was
Yeah.
coming, then it wasn't, and like, your name change and like all the rest of the bullshit that you were dealing with. And then you ended up working through them.
Mm-hmm.
How much did you really want to leave the label far before you did?
I just felt like I had to finish that project. Like I had this really strong desire to like put a bow on that experience and to really finish it because I'd been talking about it for so many years. So I didn't really honestly consider it as like a real possibility until after that project was done.
Because even before then, like, you put out a project and they called it like a mixtape or something, right?
Yeah, which I thought was a shame.
Yeah. But you would still go out and like perform those songs and
Mm-hmm.
like you felt good about the stuff you put out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love
So
them, yeah.
then you put the album out.
Mm-hmm.
How quickly after were you like, okay, cool. I've done all I could do with you guys.
Very quickly after. Very quickly, yeah. Because I think once that was off my chest, I was like, yeah, I gotta do something else. I gotta make some changes. Because whenever like a project comes out, if you don't roll into like a promo run, you kind of get right back into a creative mode, at least for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't feel like I could do either because I was like over it. And so, yeah, that felt like the logical next step.
Leaving the label,
Mm-hmm.
did you have any plan as to what you were going to do next?
Nope. I had
Is
no
that
clue.
freeing or scary?
Both.
Okay.
Both. It was Yeah, and definitely intimidating because you don't know what's going to happen. But in that not knowing what's going to happen is like the re-emergence of faith in myself. Like, oh, it's fine. It's going to work. Like, I'll figure this out. And then finding that again, then you do figure it out.
You know, you recently lined up with Rock Nation.
Uh-huh.
What was that process like?
That was really important in, I think, again, taking a step away from what I had done in the past and moving towards what I wanted to do in the future. Because I'd worked again with my management for like 8 years.
So that was the same manager?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So that was hard. Really hard. Like the hardest thing I ever did.
That's like a breakup.
Yeah. It was hard. 'Cause there's like family. It's hard.
Was it was that couldn't have been like one conversation, was it?
It was mostly one conversation. Well, we had a conversation like a year prior.
Mm-hmm.
But it was ultimately like one major conversation, yeah.
So you had just made up your mind and it was just like, I need to make this change. Wow.
Yeah.
And so you entered the Rock Nation thing. How many conversations was that? A few. I met them like with my lawyer, then I like met at the office. Then I thought about it. I was meeting other people at the time, trying to just like decide what felt right.
Your Instagram is pretty great.
Thanks.
And I think most of what makes it great is that it seems very authentic.
Thank you. Well, it is.
I hope so, because I want to say that, especially your stories, right? For the last 8 or 9 months, it seems like you've been having fun.
Yeah.
Like, and enjoying yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Like, go to John and Vinny's, you have a good time,
For
right?
sure.
Like, you record, you're having a good time. And now that the album's out, you're enjoying, like, everyone else's reactions. But you couldn't have gotten to that place without, like, working on yourself and getting to enjoy the process, right?
Definitely.
So you went through whatever dark periods you went through. Did you record through the dark periods and the good periods?
Yeah, I mean, I think the dark was mostly when I was like in the studio. That was when I felt the most inspired because I didn't really feel like there was much else motivating me. But I feel like once I got like so many songs that I was super stoked about, that's when obviously I started feeling much better about everything.
And by the way, I think one of the dopest things that you've been doing, and I don't know if you've put them out beyond your Instagram TV, but someone documented at least some of the process of recording.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And I think, and I saw the first one, I don't know if you put anything more, maybe like last week. I think it's really dope because we had an idea of like who you were without even meeting you. Like that's you.
Right.
So is there more to that?
Yes, there is. I mean, I tried to shoot as much as I could of the real process. It's hard because in the real process, it's so drawn out. It takes so many hours over so many days that it's literally impossible to capture that much footage. But I was lucky enough to capture a few of the records.
And I bet it's hard to trim it down.
It's just hard. It's just hard to even shoot that much footage. You know how many gigabytes? Like
it's a lot.
A couple hours of video footage is like it's huge. And then you do that every day for months. Like it's hard. So.
And there's no definite deadline. It's just this could go on forever.
And you don't know which songs you're keeping yet, so you're just like, I guess I'll keep them all. And then your computer's full, and then you're like, But yeah, so I do have some more video, but I love to be able to share that because I think it shows a side of both me as like a person, me as an artist, but also just the process that people don't necessarily always see. They kind of see like a glossy, shined up version of that.
I bet Tinashe at RCA is shiny and perfect and you don't see any of the vulnerability. This, you are showing vulnerability.
Yeah, that was a big goal of mine with this whole
Is that difficult though?
At first. I think now it feels right, so it's less hard, but definitely at first because I feel like I always wanted to project some type of perfect exterior, and I think that to be able to not do that takes some type of just strength, confidence, all the above.
You recorded this album over 18 months. When did you have an idea of how you would release it?
I still don't know how I'm releasing it.
But you did release it.
But like in terms of just like the rollout and like what I'm doing, like a lot of it is just like winging it. And I mean, the plan for like rolling it out like was pushed back for lots of weeks because of legal reasons. Like we're trying to put this out independently is like difficult.
Yeah.
So that took a second, but yeah, so there's not too much like rhyme or reason, but at the same time, like it's I think I really kind of saw it coming together within the last 2 months before we released.
Okay. Don't be generic at all.
Okay.
Your fans seem really, really awesome.
They are.
And your relationship with them seems very, very awesome. So you go to different cities and you do private listenings with your fans.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Number one, like everyone's like, oh my God, Tinashe gave me a hug, right? Like that seemed like really genuine and awesome.
Yeah.
Number two, you put out a poster.
Yeah.
And people like either got on you for like the text choices that you made or whatever. But then like other people were like, hey, this is a better one. And then you'd be like, all right, cool. And you like use the 15 that like followed then. And that's just like off the love, right?
Right, yeah.
How much do you appreciate, and don't be generic, how much do you appreciate your fans?
I mean, it's insane. The kind of feedback that they've given me, especially through this process, has been, I feel like, life changing in terms of my motivation. Like, truly, I don't know what I would do without my fans, because they have driven me, especially as an independent artist. You don't have that anything driving you other than yourself and that feedback from other people. So I mean, if I'm just talking to a wall, that does nothing. So to have people respond to the content that I put out, or to come to the listening sessions, to be there, to feel that energy, to put that energy into the music, into the universe, to share it with their friends, to tell people about it, it means 10 times what it ever meant before, you know.
That is so not generic.
Yeah.
Right?
That was such a good job.
Was it?
Yeah.
I think facetious?
No.
So, okay, you cook, you bake. Do you still do Tae Kwon Do?
No.
Okay. If you had to,
Yeah.
could you? Is it muscle memory?
Don't doubt me.
Okay.
I would never.
I don't want to put doubt into the community.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What's one thing that you have not been able to do yet, but that you would like to do, like a skill?
Probably like scuba dive.
Okay. No, I
Is
mean,
that
like,
like unexpected?
Yes,
You seemed
yeah.
really
well,
thrown off.
Well, no, I was like, I wonder if that's like a skill. Like,
I was also wondering, if you put that on the back of your headshot.
Well, I mean, like, because you can cook, you can bake, you can do like. I don't know. I was thinking about food.
list some skills. Let's see if I got it. You were just thinking of food skills?
Yeah, PowerPoint.
I can make a PowerPoint.
Dope.
So you were
skateboarding.
No, I can't skateboard.
Would you like to?
No.
By the way, I don't see there's not a lot of light between skateboarding and scuba diving.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just wrong.
Maybe.
Like, they're both activities.
That's true.
They are activities, but I would rather learn how to scuba dive than skateboard.
You're a classically trained dancer.
Mm-hmm.
You went on Dancing with the Stars.
I did.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was fun.
Was it intense?
It was. It was really intense.
Who was on your season?
I like forgot.
No.
Gosh, yeah,
Did our mom vote for you?
I don't know. Good question. You should ask your mom.
I'm 100%
Probably
going
not,
to.
because I lost like week 3. I was out of there.
What do you? Why do you think you lost?
It's a conspiracy.
Oh, okay. Now I'm in.
I'm
Let's
looking-
go.
yeah,
Why
wait.
was it a conspiracy?
Because we all know everybody votes for the people who they're like are the underdogs. They're gonna rise. You know, throughout
Wouldn't
the
that
season.
be you? Or do you think because you're
I
so
was
good at dancing?
yeah, exactly. I
They
had
didn't wanna see you
a dance
win.
background. So
Right.
That's like cheating. So they're like, she doesn't need the votes. You know?
Damn. What did you
I
find?
saw that
Right? That's
Sean
what I
Spicer from the fucking White House.
Exactly. So like, if that guy can go, well,
If
also,
that guy, I'm sorry,
Also,
he's
we know
also
who the voting
classically trained.
audience is.
Yes.
We do know who the voting audience was. Wait, what made you sign up for it? Or did
because
you?
I thought it would just be like a fun.
Did they reach out
challenge.
to you?
And I also thought I would win.
Right. Yeah. There we go.
You should
Yeah.
have won.
What did you find
More
to be
than
the
Sean
hardest
Spicer.
thing in that like whole 3 weeks?
It was honestly, it was really strenuous. Like we were really like ballroom dancing, and if you take it seriously, it is not easy. Like
So
it's a
were you-
real thing.
Yeah, were you training like all day? Like
Yeah, and we were,
practicing?
and the choreography that I was doing with Brandon was like, we were doing flips. He was flipping me up in the air, and I was like bending in half. and
You
we
had to do a
rehearsals every
3-way
day.
tango?
Yeah, that was difficult.
What the fuck?
That was difficult.
How do you do that?
Exactly. That was.
Like, I'm
I
trying to think
that
of
was
the
the week
mechanics.
we went home.
Yeah, well, I mean, you did get a high score, 26 out of 30.
Is that good? we
Listen,
got. I think we
I'm
got
not
better.
a regular watcher.
I know,
I'm not-
yeah.
I think
I'm
we
gonna
got
be
better
honest.
most weeks.
But 26 out of 30 seems like a good score.
It was pretty good.
Okay.
I just don't understand the mechanics
we
of
didn't,
doing
like,
like a.
bond.
Wait, oh, I thought you said you didn't bond, and I was like,
Bond.
there were
Yeah,
3 of
no.
you.
When
You
you
did pretty
when
good.
you were
That's why it
asked
was a shocker.
when you
When
were
host
asked
Tom Bergeron announced that Tinashe and Brandon were out of the competition, the crowd acted surprised, booing the judge's decision.
See, it was an upset.
Brandon, you actually said it in the package, said Bergeron. Sometimes the best dancers go.
damn.
See, it's a conspiracy.
Damn.
I'm saying.
When you lost, when you were asked not to come back the next
Yeah.
week, did you think about like giving like some like crazy stank face to the camera and just making it
just
a
going off,
big moment? Yeah, just
Wow.
like start cussing at the camera, and they have to cut it out
that'd be great.
dramatically.
That'd be great.
Worst
That'd been
elimination
funny.
in Dancing with the Stars history.
Wow,
That's what people are calling
I'll
it.
take that.
Yeah, put that on a trophy.
Yeah. Yo, you should you have to make a sweatshirt.
That would be so dope.
I don't think
It's not like
that
timely anymore,
important
but no,
to
it's pretty
me.
important.
Yo, what about if we come back to
We were just
LA?
talking about your relationship with your fans.
What
This
if we-
is the most important?
What if we come back to LA in February? We come to a Taco Tuesday and we have sweatshirts
Wow,
that say "Worst Loss"
you're officially
in
invited.
Dancing with the Stars history.
Sold.
Yeah.
That'd be hard.
That would be hard.
So okay, so you drop this album, it goes to number 1.
Yeah, that was crazy. I wasn't expecting that.
What did you expect?
I had no expectations.
You were thinking worst elimination in Dancing with the Stars history.
Yeah.
No, but you put it out and like, did you think about putting your phone down and like going to see a movie and like just disappearing for?
Absolutely not.
You
Making
wanted to
200
see
tacos.
it live?
Yeah, I was like, I have to stay home for the next hours and read everything.
Were you
I
by
did for,
yourself,
like,
or did you have
2
friends with
days,
you?
like 2 straight days. I was just at home by like my mom's house. I went back to Glendale.
Like just refreshing and.
Yeah.
So you had no feeling that it would like rocket to number 1.
No, I had no anticipation, but I definitely wanted to soak in. Like, I still knew that there would be like a barrage of comments. I wanted to soak that in because you don't get that every day. You
Barrage of
drop
good
a-
comments.
I mean, hopefully.
Yeah, no, right. But agreed.
I was hoping they would be majority positive.
Yeah.
But I still didn't know, like, how positive. Overwhelmingly positive.
It was overwhelmingly
Yeah,
positive.
definitely.
The next morning, did you wake up and think like, "Fuck, it was real"?
Yeah. And then I read more comments. I did for like honestly, the first few days I was just reading stuff.
Was it emotional?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
How so?
Because it was just going so well. I just didn't, like I said, I tried not to have expectations just in case.
But also, so you've been working on it for 18 months prior.
Yeah.
To give it to the world has got to be a huge
Yeah.
endeavor for your soul, right?
Definitely.
So, I mean,
so-
of course there's going to be some sort of release, right?
100%. Definitely. But I feel like that's also right before you drop it than necessarily when you drop it. When I dropped it, I had already kind of mentally gone through that.
So now that you're in full
The week
control
before.
of your whole empire, right? Mm-hmm. Like no one else has their hands in it. This is like your vision.
Mm-hmm.
You get to decide what songs you put out. You get to decide what artists you work with. You get to decide what the music videos look like.
Mm-hmm.
How satisfying is that?
Crazy. Amazing. It's been the best.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's just been like the best experience because, yeah, I've just never felt as tapped into like natural just like, oh, I should do this, I should do that. So that's amazing and really instinctual.
You know, you talked about all these people writing nice comments when it did come out, and like, was there anyone maybe that you knew, maybe that you didn't know, but somebody that reached out and you were just like, wow, like this one is very satisfying? It could have even been like somebody from RCA that was just like, I'm so happy for you
Yeah, I actually had a good amount of people from RCA say that they were really proud of what I did and the work itself. And that, yeah, that means a lot for sure, coming from that relationship, to know that people are still, rooting for me and still are proud of how far I've come, regardless of what we've been through. Yeah, that was great.
Does your grandma enjoy that?
My grandma sent me a big text, about all of her favorites. Saving for Us is her favorite, but she also likes No Better. She can't decide if she likes the first half or the second half better.
Is grandma a big texter?
She stays up with the times.
Yeah.
Does she have a memoji?
No, she doesn't. We should get her one.
Does she FaceTime?
Not really, because I don't FaceTime. I
Oh.
don't like FaceTime.
FaceTime's so in now.
I know, I'm not into it.
Yeah, but you're not a rapper, so that's why.
Yeah.
I'm not into it.
Can I just say, throughout this entire conversation, one thing that I've been super impressed by is your command of vocabulary.
Oh, thank you.
You say a lot of just like great words, and there are a lot of people who like use words and they don't use them correctly. You use all your words correctly. Like it's just like really great talking to you. So I
appreciate
hope
that. Yeah, it's been a lovely conversation.
Yeah, but like, what is your media like? What do you read? What do you?
I think that just comes from a lot growing up. My dad was an English professor for a lot of years.
That'll help.
And that'll help. And then also grew up in the theater. So, learning lines, reading lines, and having that be something that he was really proud of, being articulate and writing. I always loved writing. I think, again, that comes with songwriting. I always loved writing stories and this and that. So probably that's where it comes from most, because I don't do too much reading anymore.
You're not doing the crossword every day?
No, not every day.
Yeah, just the Sundays.
Just on weekends.
Yeah.
What do you think people get most wrong about you these days?
Well, these days I'm doing pretty good. I think people's perceptions are changing, which I'm really pleased about. But I think people in the past have gotten wrong that I'm kind of like a mindless artist, or that I'm just a soulless artist in the sense of just like my music doesn't have much depth to it. And I think that comes from people just being familiar with only my singles, not necessarily listening to my bodies of work. And I think, again, with this body of work and with people just getting to know me better as an artist in general, people have a better perception of that there's more depth. And I think people respect me, which I really think is sick.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing. Like in terms of like my peers and things like that. So that's really good.
Do you want to tour this record until the wheels fall off the bus?
Yeah, I want to tour this record for sure. I don't know about the wheels fall off the bus because I have to keep making more music,
Yeah,
you have to get, like, if the wheels fall off the bus, then you have to get like another like backup bus.
Yeah, then we gotta get
what
on
a
the
bummer.
plane.
And then you're stuck in like
so much worse.
Kentucky, where you're like not even have a real life.
Yeah, welcome home. Tinashe, congratulations on the 100+ records that you recorded for this album.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the ones that you
R.I.P. to
put
the ones
on this
that
album.
didn't.
Yeah.
Is it really R.I.P. to the rest?
R.I.P. to most of them, yeah. I mean, like, I would say there's a handful that I would reconsider reevaluating. Actually, yeah, because there's always elements of probably every song that I attempt that I really love. That's why I can listen to them back and be like, oh, I kind of like that one. But there's also usually a reason why I move forward.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times they just aren't the way. But there sometimes can be elements of particular songs, whether it's like melodies or like a verse or something that I can revisit. But I also just like moving forward. I like evolving. Sonically.
Totally.
New beats, new vibes.
Meanwhile, you're wearing a Blockbuster like head to toe outfit.
Yes.
So again, all that new shit that
All about
is also
new,
from 20
but
years
also
ago.
old.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for having us over, and congratulations on everything.
Thank
We're
you
looking
for
forward to
being
everything in the future.
Thank you so much.
Also, we're taking a bunch of plants with us.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for listening to this new episode of A Waste Time with It's The Real, day number 3 of the 12 days of podcast. That's right, a new podcast every day leading up to Christmas. I'm Eric, the one with the curly hair. You're Jeff, the one with the glasses. Together, we are It's The Real, no apostrophe, no spaces. If people want to find out more about this podcast, it's called A Waste of Time with It's The Real. If people want to find out more about what's going on with us, where can they
Go!
You can always go to ItsTheReal.com, ItsTheReal.com, ItsTheReal.com/shop for our merch, ItsTheReal.com for our newsletter. Also, you can find us on all social media platforms, but especially Twitter at ItsTheReal and Instagram at ItsTheReal. We are also on all streaming platforms for our podcast. Go listen to it there, subscribe, rate, comment, all that.
Yeah, people should really go to youtube.com/ItsTheReal and check out that Cameron video. If you watch that video and you tell friends to watch that video, maybe we'll make more videos. Jeff, I know that we stood out in the rain for an hour and a half last night. Just trying to get into the Barclays Center, see Duce Palooza, and shout out to all of our guys and girls over there. And I asked the internet today if they wanted a shout, what would they wait an hour and a half in the rain for? And they said,
Nav fan account.
oh my God, he's back?
He's back. He says Nav singing the Canadian national anthem.
An hour and a half in the rain to go see Nav sing for a minute and a half.
Yes.
Great.
JW the Dude said a Waste of Time podcast live
How nice is that?
or Jay-Z concert.
Same.
Or both, I guess, together.
That would be awesome.
Cash Money Josh said a Jay-Z concert.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Love Rebel, our girl Nia, who takes photos for us every once in a while.
Shout out to
her.
Nia, yeah.
Said the Dollar and the Dream tour in July 2014. She sends a bunch of pictures. They're
Looks
all
like she
great.
already did it. Great.
Skip from BK, our man who's listened to every single episode.
Yes.
All the time.
Yeah.
Said Duce Palooza.
Well,
So I guess he was there last night.
shout out to him.
Hen Season said the highlight tape of Tie pepper spraying Kells.
You would wait to see that in person or wait to see a screening of it? Or
Both. Either.
yeah.
True Ralph 103 also said you guys live podcast.
How nice is that?
Cho Daddy
Yes.
said finding out who Ain't No Jigga is.
Wait an hour and a half in the rain to find out who Ain't No Jigga is.
Do you know who Ain't No Jigga is?
Wait in the rain and I'll tell you.
All right. Tyler B305 said an Outcast reunion.
Didn't that happen?
Yes.
But I guess you could wait again.
Trav Dave said that he would wait an hour and a half to watch us do the Rockefeller Part 2 reunion or Jay-Z all B-sides again. I'm starting to see this trend.
I know.
Coral Lopez, 22, said that she'd wait an hour and a half in the rain just to watch Lil Uzi Vert Futsal Shuffle.
What is the Futsal Shuffle?
Do you want me to do it?
For this audio podcast?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
3, 4, and a shot, and a step, and a toe, and a heel, and a jump, and a...
Oh, I feel so privileged not to wait in the rain to see what Jeff is doing right
up
here.
again, and turn, and step, and ball.
Ladies and
a
gentlemen,
heap,
this is very
and-
complex right now.
Yeah.
And Jeff just scored a perfect 10 from the Russian judge.
The calculation said another B-sides concert from Jay-Z. Do we only have Jay-Z fans?
That's fine by me.
Yan Ye said he waited 10 hours at Lollapalooza with a bag of almonds and a bottle of water to see Sir Paul McCartney front row.
Here's what I take from that. Yanye is healthy. Yanye is dedicated. And Yanye
Survived 10 hours
man,
with a bag of almonds and a bottle of water. Jesus Christ was there with him. That damn pen said that he would wait for a baby mama giveaway.
shout out to that damn pen. I wonder why.
A baby mama giveaway?
No. I heard
You heard what he wanted.
No, I heard the name and I was like stuck on that. I was like, what a name and why?
You just ignored that he said that he would wait an hour and a half in the rain for a baby mama giveaway?
Well, now I'm on board, but
Yeah.
that damn pen?
Bodega Box Office, our guys in Brooklyn, said a shot-for-shot deep-fake remake of Coco starring The Lox and It's the Real.
That would be pretty phenomenal.
But why would you have to wait an hour and a half in the rain when it's screening at every single theater?
Yeah, good point.
LPDT991 said a conference featuring Cam explaining the falsehood of dinosaurs.
Do we need to make this happen?
Yes. Zuri Maya said something in the Waterfest 2020, which would be great if you all could do a live show with the guests, the Clips. Yes, they would be performing at the week-long festival. I can't wait. That's very specific.
I think we can make that happen. That's Pusha T.
Yes.
And,
We've met.
And No Malice.
Who we have met.
This is true. We met both of them.
Yeah.
No Malice. Very religious. Come on our religious podcast. something in the walking on the water.
No, something in the water turned it into wine.
Wow.
Because I have been reading the Bible. Wanted All times Chew said he would wait an hour and a half in the rain to see a Pimp C hologram, perform Pocketful of Stones, Murder, and for the closer bring out Master P to perform Break 'Em Off with Bun B. Again, that's very specific.
This is super specific.
We have Bun B tomorrow.
Bun B tomorrow. It's a great episode. Very much looking forward to you guys hearing it. We appreciate everybody for listening religiously. As always, Jeff, not for real, for real.
Sure.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Sunset.